another episode of the Bengi C podcast, brought to you by Interactive Entertainment, presented by Optimal Agreements, empowered and directed by Oku Hittermeister. Go ahead and get your weather together, loved ones together for $29.99. www.wearelegalshield.ekirtan.com. Get your loved ones weather together for pplsi.com. That's $29.99. And let's get to the show. And so I have some topics today, current hip hop affairs. The first one I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna get right to it, is did Drake get Ebro fired? And so people that don't know, Ebro used to be, well, he's still head of music at Apple Music, but he used to be also a prominent DJ in New York City for like 20, 30 years now. He was in charge of Hot 97. So Hot 97, that's the number one hip hop spot in the country, well, damn near in the world, I would say. And then there's Power 104.5, but Hot 97 is like the old school. Shot 97, shout out to 50 back in the day, G Unit. Shit was going down up there. Hot 97. And so, rest in peace to the tunnel. But Ebro suddenly got the can. And so you kind of think back how Drake plays it. Drake ain't gonna hit you the next day or the same day. Drake gonna let you get comfortable and then make, you know what I mean, something out of something that you thought was over with. And the next thing you know, Triple X dies. Pause. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm saying that. You know what I mean? You make a diss about his mom, this and the third, and then 5 months later, you just, you know what I mean, get robbed randomly. And so that's how he played, you know what I mean? And so Ebro made some remarks, and obviously, you know, it's easy to kick somebody down in hip hop, you know what I mean, or when you think they down, because the numbers are all skewed. It's all smoke and mirrors in this industry. The business of music is different from the industry, but the music industry is all carnival show. But the difference is, this is only significant because Ebro isn't in the music industry. He's in the business of music. He's actually in a brick and mortar landmark of hip hop, Hot 97. You see what I'm saying? That's never gonna go anywhere. They say radios is always gonna be around. And so the fact that he got plucked and retained his job as the head of music at Apple Music is curious, because how can you have standing on the West Coast but you just got plucked from the East Coast? You see what I'm saying? And you have your home base in the East Coast. That's powered your regulation to even get a chance to have the situation on the West Coast. So who did you piss off? Think about Toronto's right next to New York, though. So there's also a conflicting interest, especially if Drake is behind this. And so that's kind of random. I'm gonna see how things turn out and play out. But that's my kind of my hypothesis is behind the situation. I think Drake has some little weasel snake shit, because it seemed like for a while he was branching out to have a lot of different music verticals. He had his podcast, he had his radio show, then he had his show, like his thing with his wife, and then, you know, he had the Apple Music gig. But, you know, it seems like, segue to the next topic, some powerful people can get away with doing some weirdo shit in public, like the Michael Jordan situation. Like, Drake did some weirdo shit in private, allegedly, but Michael Jordan, I seen a video of him grabbing a little boy butt and then trying to play it off like he grabbing somebody. What's going on, everybody? But no, he tried to play it off like he was grabbing a leg or trying to do whatever he was doing. Nah, bro, I saw you. And it looked weird because, like, the more he tried to reach for it, like, the more excited he got. It was, like, really, like, kind of weird. And so they said, oh, that's like his godson. It's like his, but I don't know anybody in my family that play like that. I don't know anybody in my family that play like that. And so, to each their own, you know what I mean? But as far as the power dynamic and the vacuum that's happening right now, I'm happy about it, because there's things that are coming to light that I don't know how that we would deal with in my personal situation without having some sort of consequence that I would regret later. So I don't know. But what I do know is I'm with the congressmen and senators. Oh shit! No. I'm with the congressmen and the senators that said what they said. They're like, hang him in public. I said, oh shit, okay, fuck, all right, I'm with that. And so, not too heavy on that. I'm gonna make a little bit lighter transition back to the 50 and the Jim Jones thing. I know everybody laughed when they saw Jim Jones kicking that door. I know everybody at home checked with a little bit, had a soft little spot in their heart, because like it just looked crazy. Like, but the thing is, if you see the whole clip, he actually successfully kicked 2 doors in. So props to you, Jim, for doing that. You actually did. I see motherfuckers leave with the shoulder But he had the whole little. He's like, oh, and you could hear him like if you hear the surveillance camera, you could hear the audio. You hear him talking shit. He's like, that's damn right. Like he popping and like he like accomplished something. All he did was just make a new bill. I'm like, damn, bro. You see the old white lady on down the hallway. She's like, is everything all right? Man, Rap About It podcast, tighten up. Dave East, we got 556 coming out soon. I need you to get that together. All right, good rollout. But see, this is the thing. 50 is the antithesis of Drake. 50 gonna try and get it done before the night's over with. You see what I'm saying? What he did is he went and got business, not industry beef. He went and got business to supply his need for the beef. He went and got a partial ownership of the building. So then he's part landlord. So then he can say, okay, I can enforce this passive emotion. Boom. Because you guys are mad. You guys got locked out. X, Y, and Z, but there's good grounds because of this. Why? Because of the following. You see what I'm saying? And so, since he has good grounds to stand on, it doesn't look crazy to his like higher ups that sponsor his TV shows, that sponsor his commercials, that sponsor his liquors, because that's the last thing that the big business want is mess attached to their name. They don't want that. Like that's the opposite of like people think, oh, good, any publicity is good publicity. That's the opposite. No, it's not, because one bad rumor can sink the Titanic. You see what I'm saying? No. And so it's absolutely not. And so Jim Jones beef is he's trying to do the I'm from Harlem, I'm the fly nigga, but I'm still this that and I'll get it done, this, that, and the third. But then if you also see Dame tried to get busy with him, and he didn't want to do none of it. He turned the knuckles down on everything. Dame was like, no, we can figure it out right now. And then shout out to Dame. That was one of my first influences. Shout out to Dr. Tara Selden. She helped me with the situation. If you don't know, Dame's the one that wrote the book Culture Vultures, and Dr. Tyra, she's the one that edited the book. She was my high school teacher, so she's the one that connected me because I took it serious when no one else took it serious on everything. She had a little writers meeting. Everybody was busy in the group chat on Facebook, but nobody showed up to the meeting but me. So she's like, you know what? I heard you do music now. I had this connection for you. And then next, it turned out to be the guy that started Jay-Z's career. And so it ended up just segmenting my success and just taking my steps. And so, and one of his things is direct to consumer. And so the problem with 50 is you can't really clip him because he's fueling his own energy. Versus Jim Jones is dealing with a sponsorship situation, like Barstool, or like some sort of other medium to channel and fuel his momentum. 50's coming out of his pocket. And worse come to worse, his best friends, Dr. Dre and Eminem. So you see what I'm saying? It's always going to be available. It's just, what is this going to be? You see he's getting Shreveport, and also he's doing other things. He's getting government situations. You see in Shreveport, he just got a big Tyler Perry kind of studio. So now he's going to take the independent game even further. But the problem is he don't want to cultivate an environment of self-destruction. You see what I'm saying? Because 50's common enemies are already past the beef. But he seemed like he's the only one that's holding on to it. And he's actually attracting more beef, which is the problem is the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So now Jay-Z, now Ja Rule, now T.I., now Rick Ross, they're all prominent older members of the hip-hop culture. And so he's still taking jabs at old issues, and they're just getting stronger every day, and they might get closer just because we don't like this nigga either. So now you might just influence some sort of effort against you, and that's the last thing you want to do in business. What Fab said, he said beef's only good in the burger business. So you slowing everything up, and you're actually spending. So you're not, in a sense, put it this way, guys, you're not outside and you're on the road. Or you might have somebody come from out of town, so now you actually can't even be in town. So you're really screwed, like, until it's over with, and then you have to recover from that later on. So the best thing to do is just do what Fab's doing. Fab's not saying anything, not doing anything. He's just going to work and letting it play out how it's going to play out, because people forget Fab was original BMF. So he's like, all right, y'all still doing this rap thing. Like, he's like, all right. But he's nice. Can't say nothing about Desert Storm. And so, can't say nothing about 50 either, because he stands on it and he stands with it. He takes it as it goes. And so that's a different thing. That's another thing. You don't want to keep having those kind of situations because it's never going to be over until it's over. And so the other topic I had is what is the significance of a versus? Because that's the root of the whole situation. T.I. called 50 out on the verses, but it wasn't even a call out. It was like 50. I mean, T.I. got interviewed 2020, 21. And they asked who would be a good opponent. What's going on? They asked who would be a good opponent, and he said 50 or Lil Wayne. And everybody laughed him out the room. And 50 called him a rat. He's like, man, fuck out of here. Like, da 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 da. I wouldn't even be around you. Get away from me. Like, you're a rat. Please leave. Da 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 da. And then T.I.'s like, what the fuck? I was talking about music, bro. Now you talking about you taking it here. So now it's here. Fuck you too. Da da da. And then Boosie kind of backpacked the 50 thing. And then, so, but the thing about it is, Boosie and 50 aren't even connected. They're not even united on this front. So it's not like something T.I. has to worry about. Think about World War II, the Schlieffen Plan. You can't win two fronts, right? So he's not even worried about that because he has that at bay. Boom. Versus 50 has everything at him at all times. So now he can't even focus because now he's not paranoid. He's just aware. They're on your ass, on everything. And then you see how T.I.'s family's responding, which is my next topic, is the family and hip-hop flex. I think it's dope when King Griffey Jr. is playing with King Griffey Jr. Sr. or Barry Bonds is playing with his Willie Mays, his uncle. You know what I mean? Or like LeBron James is playing with Bronny James. I think it's dope when you see a family dynamic in your business. And so the fact that Damani's cold at rapping, King is funny as a personality, and he did a good a couple disses. And the funny part about it is, everybody was saying King ain't about it. Turns out King was willing to crash out the whole time. He actually was itching for it. He's like, yes, finally, this is what I do. You seen Be Cool, the movie? Be Cool, Andre 3000. Watch Be Cool. He's like, man, don't give me the gun. You know what I'm gonna do. Don't even give me the hopefully Andre 3. And so that's that. Everything. And so I think that Damani did the most critically acclaimed diss with the firebug and the 50 burning down his baby mom's house to avoid paying the payments or whatever. And I think that was the most effective. But King, turns out, hats off to King, you know what I mean, and salute to him because he stepped first. Well, his dad Pop stepped first, but then King was right there like, nah, let me get to him. On everything. Yeah. On everything. Oh, that's Get Shorty. That's the second. Yeah, Be Cool. That's the yep. Load it up. Hey, pause it. We're gonna do this for we got 2 more minutes, y'all. We're gonna make this a quick little brief one. I got 2 more topics, and then we're gonna get to the Be Cool. If you haven't seen it, it's a hell of a movie. John Travolta, Cedric, the Entertainer, Uma Thurman. I think Barney. It's a heck of a cast. I'm telling you. And so, long story short, this was a snippet. The Bengi C podcast. You know we do these here and there, quick little 15 joints. But I think that 50 moved. I'm gonna end it with this. I think that 50 moved on from music because he saw it wasn't as profitable as the TV, and he found an in route to where he could just put his own music as the soundtrack. He would just score the show or score the movie. So then, okay, let's say 1 million people watch Power on Thursdays or on Wednesdays, whatever. So his song attached to that show, just went platinum every week. So people were trying to go, as The Weeknd said, do promo. I said, oh, damn. He said, my nigga, I said, God damn. He said, your man's on the road, he doing promo. I said, you consider my fucking tour a promo? I said, God damn, I gotta get to that. He said he's doing his tour. He's doing promo. I said, oh no, on everything. So, long story short, is on your level, and there's beauty in the struggle, as J. Cole said. And so, I think that he decided to switch over from that to be more creative. And what I should give him some advice on, if he don't even give no fuck, if you see this film, I'm telling you this. You should write in a little episode of Force or Power involving this. Or you could put a whole new universe in Atlanta and you could skew it from the T.I. perspective of what you think really happened in Bankhead on that tragic night in that Walmart parking lot. All right, this is Bengi C. This is another episode of the Bengi C. podcast. I appreciate you popping in. This is presented by Interactive Entertainment. Brought to you by Ultimate Agreements. Empowered and directed by Okun Meister. Get your word together for $29.99. PPLSI. We are LegalShield.com.